What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk. And today I'm here to discuss Andre SOG Ward. And the reason for this video is because yesterday, in one of the boxing groups I'm an admin in, shout out to the championship rounds, my boy Benny Acevedo, Carlos Ponce de Leon, Dave Martez, Mark Coonan, and Antonio, and Cisco. I ran across a post posted by one of the members whose name I won't mention. That it was a meme with Andre Ward's face on it. It said, "Cuz you can't spell coward without Ward." And instantly I took offense to that because, it's one thing to criticize Andre Ward for the things he may say outside of the ring, whether it's regarding, Gennady Golovkin, his move to 178, and him being forced to, like in his opinion, being forced to go up there where everybody else get to stay put where they're comfortable, or him not fighting Lucian Bute for whatever reason, or his commentary on HBO. We don't know everything that goes into the business of boxing, and I'm not going to act like I do, but those are some things you can criticize Andre Ward about. But to simply call that man a coward is outright just ridiculous. This guy is America's last Olympic gold medal winner. He won it back in 2004 at light heavyweight. He's going on to have a stellar career so far, although it's been marred by injuries and inactivity due to injuries and, promotional disagreements with the late, great Dan Goosen, rest his soul. But, when Andre Ward fights, he dominates. He doesn't have that classic action style where he's going to go, rock 'em, sock 'em, fight on the inside, toe-to-toe. He's going to make you fight his type of fight, and he's going to do so impressively. If you look at his resume, even before the Super 6 tournament, the guy that sticks out to me is, just a couple guys. Darnell Boone, who early on, shout out to him, one of my Facebook friends, terrific fighter. He dropped, Andre Ward in their fight. I believe the third round with a beautiful uppercut that, he was the first man to ever drop Andre Ward, I believe. And he clearly had Ward, seeing stars. But Ward, to his credit, got up and battled back and won the fight. But that name sticks out as a guy who's dropped Kovalev a couple times. He stopped lineal light heavyweight champion Adonis Superman Stevenson. He's fought a list of guys, and he's a tough out for anybody. So that name sticks out. And you also got to talk about Edison Miranda. We all know Edison Miranda is one of the hardest punchers in the last 10 to 15 years in boxing. He raced David Banks of The Contender in 3 rounds, 1 punch. He broke Arthur Abraham's jaw. He fought Kelly Pavlik. He's fought Lucian Bute. And like I said, he's a very credible opponent, especially for when Andre Ward fought him and where, Miranda was in his career. He gave Miranda pretty much a lesson. It was ugly at times, and Miranda had his moments, but, Ward, did what he had to do to overcome Miranda and move on. Then you bring the Super 6 tournament that originally involved Andre Ward, Andre Durrell, Jermaine Taylor, Arthur Abraham, Mikael Kessler, and Carl Froch. And he drew the tournament favorite at the time going into it, Mikael Kessler. And everybody that I knew was picking, Kessler. They said he was too experienced. He had been in the ring with Joe Calzaghe. I'm having a mental name, but his resume at the time of the tournament was, spectacular, compared to that of Andre Ward. What happened when they fought? Andre Ward just outboxed him, outfought him, out-hustled him, and won a clear unanimous decision to win the title. I think it was the WBC title that Kessler had at the moment. And he was still criticized, Yeah, he does use his head on the inside, and he did give Kessler a few cuts due to accidental, that's what they were ruled, headbutts. But he was criticized, saying this, he used his head too much, it wasn't exciting. But to me, that was a dominating performance because not a lot of people was giving him a chance. Yes, he fought in Oakland, California, but still nobody cared about that. And then, for him to go out and do what he did and become the WBC super middleweight champion, great things for him. And then he was scheduled to fight Jermaine Taylor, but we all know what happened. Jermaine Taylor got knocked out by Arthur Abraham, suffered a brain bleed, and had to withdraw. So that brought in Alan Green, a guy who can punch and box, and who had wanted to fight with Ward, and he got the fight, and Ward muscled him up on the inside, kept it on the ropes, and he just beat him. He dominated Alan Green, who's a very credible opponent. Then you bring in, Sakio Bika, because there was a lot of injuries, pullouts, withdrawals in the whole tournament. But he fought a rugged Sakio Bika who also fought Kessler before, who is tough as nails, who gives anybody, doesn't matter who you are, a tough fight. And he dominated that fight. And then Arthur Abraham, impressively, disarmed Abraham, the power puncher. We know that for him to be in impressive fashion. And then in the Super 6 final, the championship bout, he easily, with one hand, defeated Carl the Crow Befruch, who in my opinion is a future Hall of Famer, one of my favorite fighters, who also had a hell of a resume built through and post Super 6 tournament. And, I just don't understand what a cowardness, allegations toward, Ward, comes from. People want to say, well, he's ducking Golovkin or he might have ducked Lucian Bute. He had legitimate reasons, in his opinion, to why he didn't want to fight Bute. But for somebody to post that, to me, is ludicrous and it's disrespectful. Criticize Ward for, whatever it is he does or may have done outside of the ring, but don't call the man a coward. And to be honest, it's really, we all get caught up in sometimes calling these guys scary, ducking or whatever. And some of it may be true, but we all know we have the utmost respect for fighters because you got to be some type of crazy and brave to get in the ring, risk your life, taking shots to the head, to the body, by big punches, by guys that are just supremely skilled athletes, top-notch, in the world. So none of these fighters are cowards. Although we would like to see them fight some of the, best in around their division, we know they're not cowards. And I just think that Andre Ward gets criticized way too much, because when he fights the best and it's not an exciting fight, he's criticized. But when he's not fighting, whether it's because, promotional issues or injuries, he's criticized for that. You can't help if you get injured. Injuries happen. Sometimes you can't help with the whole promotional, side of things because business gets tricky, people get in your ear and whatnot, and it happens. But it seems like he can never win. He dominated Edwin Rodriguez coming off of a 12-plus month layoff easily. Came back recently, defeated Paul Smith. Fought on BET. He's now signed with Rock Nation Promotions, Rock Nation Sports, headed by Jay-Z. And he's just recently signed a 3-fight deal with HBO that will climax with a mega fight with fellow light heavyweight Orlando, or you can look at him as the best light heavyweight in the world, and Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, a fight that a lot of fans have been calling for. If it wasn't Ward and Golovkin, it was Kovalev and Ward. And now that he moved up, although I don't think he really wanted to just yet, he did. He moving up to face, these guys, and people still criticize him. Because when the fight comes, he's going to fight his fight, whether he wins or loses. It's not going to be, satisfying to the viewer because they just don't want to give him his credit. They're going to say, well, he did dominate, but he held, but he ran, but he didn't let his hands go enough. And I just think that Andre Ward, gets too much criticism. Yes, he does contradict himself, and yes, he does bring some of this criticism on, on himself, but who doesn't, And I just feel that Andre Ward needs to be respected as the last American gold medalist for this country, a guy who's shown and proved that he is not only willing and capable of fighting the best. He not only willing, I mean, to fight the best, but capable of not only beating them, but destroying them, dominating them in the way that he goes about it. And people won't say, well, he destroyed them. What you mean he destroyed them? They barely looked marked up, and it was a decision win. He mentally destroyed them, and he did physically destroy them. Just because he's not knocking them down, knocking them out, doesn't mean that he's not dominant like a Roy Jones or Mike Tyson was, or uh, Manny Pacquiao, whoever it may be. And also, I forgot to mention, he did fight Bad Chad Dawson. Although Dawson did, come down and maybe drain himself to make 168, he still fought him. He knocked him down 3 times, stopped him in an impressive fight. And I just feel that, Ward should be respected as one of the best fighters in the world today, one of the best fighters the last 15 to 20 years. And I think that he's going to do big things come 2016. I think he's in negotiation to fight somebody. I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but he will be back in the ring. I think in March, that's the date they're targeting. And, it will accumulate with a fight with Sergey Kovalev. So that's just my thoughts on Andre Ward. I just felt I needed to vent and talk about one of my favorite fighters, and why, the word coward shouldn't be associated with any boxer, but especially Andre Ward, who has proven time and time again. You line them up, he'll knock them down. But like this video, subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me if you agree with me or you disagree with me. And like I said, follow us on Twitter at Colossal CBT. Head over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, Colossal Boxing Talk. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.